I stand firmly in the fact that I'm one of the best to ever do this. For the culture, for my coast, and for my city. This is the Best Rapper in LA podcast. And I'm your host, Murs. What up, though? Fuck. It's been too long, y'all. Man. Yeah, I don't know what to tell y'all, man. This shit's a lot harder than it looks. We're on the road. Give you my stats again. I'm the sole provider for a family of 6, 4 kids, 1 wife, and myself. 3 of them are homeschooled, and then we have no daycare. We have no babysitters. We have no help around the house. So shit was trill as fuck when I was turning these in every week, irregardless, because this doesn't bring any money in, really. Unless you're one of the kind people that are supporting on Patreon. So on top of this, I have to get work done. But an hour a week isn't much to ask, right? But it is. When you are now I'm my own DJ, tour manager, and merch guy for the tour. And driver, I've had tours with drivers. But one thing I did take up until recently, I was the label. And now I've handed it over to the great people at Mellow Music Group. We've slowed things down so the album won't be out till August. But if you want to hear the whole thing, there's a few left at the $100 price point, and you get the whole album to download instantly. And I would do it sooner than later, because the longer that album sits out there, kind of in secret, it may lose a couple of songs. I'm not going to lie to you. But other than that, we're rolling out new singles every 3 weeks or so. The next single will be Enjoy, featuring Nate Curry. Quick Stories. Silver Lake Rec League is out now.
Silver Lake Rec League's rap, Jesse made the slap, kicked all the kiddies off the court and never gave it back. Yeah, sinister, monotheist, the minister, holla bread beginning and Manischewitz the finisher, terrorize the temperature, serenading the signature, Serengeti.
Flowers for Will.i.am is out now.
What's the lane, weird crib, born and bred fearless, got a demo tape, wait till everybody hear this. Ever since a shorty, I've been doing my own thing, no one else supported, so I started my own gang. Me, G-A-N-G, believe in yourself even when they can't see. The vision ain't for everybody, I snuck into every party.
Flowers for Will.i.am is the 4th in the series, so if you want to go check out Flowers for People Under the Stairs.
Love y'all, bro. And of course, I'll be doing a song about the P without a papa stopper. Rock with me, y'all. I met that dude that's one in high school. He was cool with my homie named Michael, better known to the world as Double K. Back then, we would kick it like every day. Desi lived way out in San Pedro. I was hella far from West LA, bro. But he had dope.
Flowers for The Rock.
First Damon J breakup. Now every day I wake up, somebody got a problem with Murs. Shout out to one from Harlem, one from Brooklyn, both from the streets. 2 brothers came together, only goal to be elite. 3 letters, ROC together.
And Flowers for Guru.
The question remains. Which MCs will reign? Which ones will gain? How many suckers will feel pain? Gifted unlimited, rhymes universal. They call me Murs, but never once did I go commercial. Coltrane on the MIC, cause I would never
I didn't think it would balance out like that, but Double K left us, but he did get to hear that song before he passed, and I think we've talked about it here on the podcast. It was so important. I didn't know he wasn't, as far as to my knowledge, he wasn't sick or anything, neither was Tess. I was just at home. The homie from Foreign Legion set the beat, Prozac, and I was like, yo, he's like, I want a verse. And I don't usually like charging people, especially people that are doing work I admire or just have been in our community for so long. I'm like, just give me some work. So he gave me that beat, and I was like, oh man, if you're okay with, I always ask the producer when I'm doing something different. I'm like, do you care if I like praise another rap group over this beat because it reminds me of them? And he was with it because he digs them and respects them too. We were, all in the same community. So I was able to send it to Tess and Double K and Mike and be like, is this weird to y'all or can I put this out? And they're like, thanks, go ahead and put it out. No idea that a couple months later he'd be gone. So that series is over now. It's important. There's 4. Flowers for The Rock was necessary because I feel like maybe everyone is kind of sided with Jay-Z or heard Jay-Z's side. And now people are starting to hear Dame's side, but I heard Dame's side. I saw Dame's side. Dame never, when I was with him, and this is relevant to World Love and Rockets 1, Dame never really spoke on Jay in this era. This is like pre him going on podcasts and shit. I'm trying to make sure I'm frank, like speaking frankly. In my 8 or 9 months of like being really like living with him and traveling with him and hanging out with him, like making breakfast in the house and everything, sitting, eating 3 meals a day with him, I never once heard him speak ill of Jay-Z. I never asked any questions. People asked questions all around me, and even in behind closed doors, his response was never negative. Or he was never angry. You know, I get, like, I don't know if you know how I get down, but like, you get, like, I'm the hippie guy. Like, you know, for me, it takes a lot. Still during this time, there are people who owe me 6 figures for albums that I did for their record labels. And I'm not tripping. It takes a lot to, like, you know, I have opinions, I have hot takes, but so I don't think I would have welcomed that energy, but I don't feel, even if it was, but maybe it would be justified. So when I did Flowers for the Rock, I kind of wanted to just like, hey, y'all, like, and then Jay-Z did that thing at Hot, like he was acknowledging that, you know, I had never heard Jay-Z acknowledge that none of this would be possible without Dame. And when he did that, I was like, oh, great. And it inspired me, like, I got to make this song. And then Flowers for Guru was just Weirden for our Speak and Spell EP, sent the beat, and it just felt like I had just driven by Sunset and whatever the street is, Sunset, but where the Tower Records used to be and saw it was a Supreme store. I was like, man, I remember my life changed. It's kind of an ode to Rob One as well from CBS because he was so influential in my life, and he's the one that asked me to go to the midnight signing of Hard to Earn. And me learning to love Gangstar and falling in love with that record. Like the skeleton for Walk Like a Man is on there. Speak Your Clout where the beat changes 3 times. Like, I don't think, like that producer-rapper combo, like, I don't know if we get 316 if I don't go to listen to Hard to Earn. I don't know if I love Hard to Earn as much if I don't go to the midnight signing. And my mentor, or, you know, big homie Rob One, like, I want to love the record because he's working the record and he's working at Virgin. And then these rappers are cooler than rappers that I love that are in the LA underground that are starting to like treat me like shit and big dog, just big league me, as my homie EP says. This is fucking DJ Premier and Guru, and they're so happy to meet me. And I believe I told the story here when I was on the Love and Rockets tour. The God Loves Ugly tour. And Guru came to our show in Vancouver. And like I tried to Shaw bruise my tailbone trying to do the splits during You and I. Because I looked to the side and Guru's watching my set, like intently watching my set. So Flowers for Guru was something I had to do. And now Flowers for Will I Am. And we'll get into the explanation of that when we finally get to the Love and Rockets 3 album, Love and Rockets 316, which will be coming out sometime in August. But if you want it now, pre-order. But those 2 singles are out, Flowers for Will I Am. His birthday being the 15th, but I think I said that here. The record came out on the 14th. In hindsight, probably should have just did a snippet and let this stay an album cut. But yeah, love both of those songs. Silver Lake Rec League, for better or worse, maybe my favorite song on the record at this point. But listening to Love and Rockets 1, I see how my favorite records change, especially how you receive them. It's a one-way conversation, and I won't lie to you, the best part of this whole process of creating albums, the part I'll miss most is having this music to myself. Sharing with you guys changes it. I won't say for the worse or for the better, it just changes it. And it changes my relationship with it. How I won't get to know these songs is live. I'm only doing Silver Lake Rec League live, and I might add songs to the set as we put more out. But you're there to hear the old shit, the legacy shit. So anyone out there worried that I'm going to do a whole bunch of new shit, I do 1 new song so far. I thought I was going to do 2. I only do 1. And in Flagstaff, I did none. And I felt bad. I felt like I wasn't doing my job because now Mellow Music has tied himself or themselves to it, and they have a staff of people that need to be supported, and they're investing money, and I can't slack, so that's going to put the battery back in my back. I don't like pushing new music on y'all. We're too old for new music, I think. But if you listen to this podcast, I'm going to ask you, like, why haven't you listened to the song, or why not go listen to the song? Because you're listening, you know. But I was with the young homies, Third World, that are opening up, that are blowing it up, dude. I'm so happy for them and proud of them. I rode home with them, and they're don't listen to music. They listen to podcasts. And I'm never been a hater. So the ill-ass 50 Cent podcast, I probably can't listen to the rest of it. It gave me nightmares and PTSD. But about the two twins who snitched on El Chapo, and it's like actually them telling the story, and they haven't seen each other in 10 years, and 50 Cent is there in this room. It's like, and all their families in some safe house somewhere in America where any minute the fucking somebody that represents the cartels, I guess, it could come in and kill them all. That's how you feel. And they're telling the story of their life. That shit is bananas. Sorry to take, time away from my podcast or Brother Ali's podcast, or Sean Kantrowitz's podcast, the podcast. Those are podcasts I love, but fuck. Here's another one.
The law's not there to protect criminals. It's there to protect the innocent. I was a criminal, so the law wasn't there to benefit me.
I'm Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
And I'm Charlie Webster.
Let me tell you a story about two brothers. If you think this is just another narco story, you're wrong.
My brother and I, we probably easily pushed over 130, 140 tons since 1998.
Yeah, man. That's the catch up, Tour's still going. We're about to hit Florida. Yeah, man. Some of these promoters are working my nerves, bro. And I guess I don't have the buffer. So sometimes it's hard to show up to the venue and be in a good spirit initially because man, it's really, really challenging. But let me give you some advice. If you're a local opener, know your goals. If your goal is to just, hey, we have a band here. Anytime a hip hop band comes, we like to open up for them. And the crowd likes it, and it's the only time we play. I don't play any other times. I don't have any aspirations of being nationwide or blowing up. I just like to play before bands that I like. Cool. If you have aspirations on being a real, making a run at this, don't fucking do that. We did it when we had to. It's a good way to start. But this is not your peak. If that's what you're thinking. You know what I mean? Don't let the promoters use you as a marketing tool, and don't burn yourself out with the hometown crowd. If these promoters really loved you like they claim they do, and because some of these promoters are forcing acts down my throat, I'm like, I have my own people that are coming out for free to open up, and they represent my different facets of me. I'm a wrestling fan. I'm a nerd rapper, whatever. Max represents that. I'm also deeply influenced by Latino LA street culture and shit like that. And that's where Third World comes in. Pookie, when she's there, she represents a part of me. Me and her brother started making music together. All that is, I give my crowd a vibe. And Noah James is one of my favorite rappers. This is a vibe I like to set for myself and to present myself to the crowd. When you cut my people off and shove people down my throat, I expect there to be a reason other than you want to sell more tickets. If it's a young kid who's looking for a break or something that makes sense. But if these promoters really loved you, they would talk to the promoter in Chicago. I would link you guys. And and I might have to send this email out to the promoters. Start saying, hey, Chicago, I'll send my guys to you. You send your guys to me. We'll help each other's, career out or help our homies out. Because the way I was doing, then another thing too is this is how we all got on. It's each one teach one. Slug had the first agent in our little circle. He took me, introduced, no gatekeeping as they say, but fuck that word. He took me on the road, then introduced me to his agent. His agent picked me up. Then I took Ali on the road with me. Then my agent picked Ali up. I took S.A. Smash. I took Ab-Soul. I'll take people who can't get out on their first time, and then they do it for someone else. But it's not being done as much now. So everybody's fighting for these opening slots. But when God Loves Ugly came to town, it was a kid from LA, a kid from Columbus, Ohio, a kid from Cincinnati, Ohio, a kid from Michigan that lived in Minneapolis. Like, we brought an energy and a vibe. I'm an artist. Like, I actually curate festivals. Let me curate the vibe for my night. If there's 20 less people there, then so be it. But the 20 people that come usually just for the opening act are going to leave when that opening act is done. But you got your money at the door and at the bar, so you don't care. Fuck that. With my whole chest. Done.
In the 67 Cutlass, we was riding through the desert with the... I got a story, y'all, from a bit ago. I was out in AZ, chilling with my nigga Ro, leaving Tucson. We was rolling out, on the way to LA to kick it, we was zoning out. Couple jokey jokes, had the music up, a little smoky smoke, he was getting blue as fuck. And in the trunk, let's just say we had a little stuff. Back in the day, you know, times was kinda rough. Way back, I was nowhere near my 30s. Rap wasn't paying the bills, we was riding dirty. 2 pounds of brown weed, straight from Nogales. We was riding slow, watching Photo Federales. And oh yeah, shit, how could I forget? We had a half an ounce of shrooms in the car to split. I was smoking cigarettes and he was riding high. That's when the sheriff car came driving by. We wasn't speeding, he didn't have a reason. He still pulled us over, now I'm fearing for my freedom. And oh shit, the shrooms, hurry up and eat them. He took half and I took half and threw the back under the seat. And hello officer, what will you be needing? License, registration, I'm sure you wanna see him. He said, sir, we already know who you are. Mr. Carter, could you please step on out of the car? I did it. What the fuck does he want? Mr. Carter, could you please open up the trunk? I said, huh? Are you sure that's what you want? Alright, I just gotta grab the keys from out the front. I went to rolling, I gave him the sign like, nigga, you know this weed ain't mine. Besides, I'm only 5'9", $1.45. I go to the pen, there's no way that I survive. I went to the trunk and opened it up, and from the look on his face, I could tell that we were fucked. Then Roland jumped up, the cop said freeze. He said, officer, that is not his weed. Then he started running full speed, knocked the cop off his feet and grabbed the 2 keys. I stood for a second thinking
67 Cutlass. My homie Roland, I hope he's okay with me saying this. Him and another homie from our crew. It's Graffiti Rock. It's one of the times I was living in Tucson. I went to Tucson in 1996, or no, 97. Performed at Club Congress, hotel or across the street from where John Dillinger or whatever was arrested. One of the oldest hotels. It's actually fucking haunted. I've seen it with my own eyes. Well, actually in a picture as well. Like, I felt something. I went onto the hallway and took a picture. Forgot about it. Developed it a months later, and I was like, holy shit, what? That wasn't there. Anyway, it's a haunted, beautiful hotel. No TVs in the room. Same, like a lot of the same stuff were made to look like a lot of the same stuff. I feel like it's the same fucking carpet from the 20s. So if you're ever in Tucson and like old hotels and want to experience, stay there. Or if you're not, if you want a more modern experience, stay at the Hotel McCoy. I have my own parking space there. I have names of our influential people who've been through Tucson or value Tucson. And every parking space at the motel is named after a different artist or writer or athlete or scientist. The first time I went, I had an aunt there. We're gonna go off because I'm feeling that way. But yeah, my aunt was one of the first black teachers, I believe, in Tucson. They came from Chicago with my Uncle William. My Uncle William had a fucking Land Rover Defender. Okay, he was probably born in 1910, let's say. And I thought it was so, even back then, you know, like, I like to tell these stories because we're talking about being on the road, and these road trips started with my grandparents taking us to Tucson. Also, when I was 3.5, the legend goes, my grandfather just came to my mom and said, I think we talked about this as well, like, hey, I'm going to come pick up the boys, me and my little brother, so I might have been 4 because my brother was like 6 months old, couldn't walk, couldn't talk. I'm coming to pick up the boys. My, daughter, if you have a daughter, I hear how it is. I might not ever know. But fathers love their daughters. So my mother is just getting out of an abusive relationship. My grandfather ran my father out of town at gunpoint. So now my mother's alone with 2 kids, and I'm sure my grandfather is She had just recovered from a C-section with my little brother, and my little brother's huge, still to this day, very huge. He's a huge baby, so I'm sure he's eating a lot. Whatever it is, he felt away. I'm coming to pick up the boys. Not for the afternoon. He just said, I'm coming to pick up the boys, but he meant I'm coming to take them to fucking Florida to see my parents. So he just absconded with us. So that was my first road trip with my grandfather. And he loves to say, my whole life, like, main man, let's ride. My grandfather, same guy who dropped me off at the fucking at LAX and picked me up 4 hours later and asked me how much money I made taking people's carts. My grandfather's a wild dude. God bless him, and one of my favorite humans. But he'd also be like, let's go see her. He's always taking care of the elderly. Now that he's an elder, I wish I could be doing more for him. But if you're older black women from the South, he's helped them get houses. I'd be like, we got to go Miss Huddleston. We got to go help Miss Huddleston move. I'm like, who's Miss Huddleston? She treated me like a kid, like one of her kids when I came here from Florida when she needs this. She just had her legs amputated. Let's help move her to the bed. You need to go fix her toilet. So my Aunt May was a little older than my grandparents. So my grandparents would always go down and check on her and Uncle William in Tucson. And on the way, we would stop at Thrasherland, which was a skate park, but an old water park turned into a skate park. And my grandparents, one from Chicago, one from the Deep South, just no idea what skateboarding is, but their grandchildren wanted to go skateboarding. And me just being the big brother, my little brother wasn't into it, but he had a Veriflex. He never upgraded. I had upgraded to a Santa Cruz and then to a Mike Valley Powell with neon green grip tape with rat bones and Swiss bearings and Z-roller trucks. And I was wearing turquoise Airwalks and, button down shirts and Vision Streetwear. I was in it to my neck. So they would stop and let me skate for a couple hours on this ramp. And then my grandmother's 92 and she's like, it's still one of my favorite memories watching you skate. So we get to Tucson and I would skate and, the Defender. This man, so 1940, you guys have seen the Green Book I think it's the Green Book where they talk about like how black people could have nowhere to stay, nowhere to travel. And the same with my grandparents. They're driving the 10 from here to Florida, from LA to Florida. And when my grandfather wants to sleep, he slides on those bench type front seats. He slides under her. She slides into the driver's seat. He slides against the window. That's how they change because they could lose their life for just getting out and getting gas or stopping unnecessarily. And it's a 3-day trip at that time. Take another pause. I don't know if we told this here. One of my uncles stabbed another one of my uncles in the heart, my great uncles, because one of my uncles said something about the other uncle's girlfriend. Stabbed him in the heart. They had to drive an hour and a half to Panama City where I think it was Panama City where there was a doctor that would touch black people because the doctor in their town wouldn't touch black people. They call my grandfather and he has to go see what's up with his brother. So he drives straight there. He gets there and of course he's tired as fuck. And this is just parents being parents. And then my great grandfather has never left the South, but I don't know if he's aware, but he's like, look at you, to my grandfather. Look, you just showed up drunk. You can't even stand up. And my grandfather's legit tired because he's just been driving nonstop to see his brother. And as soon as he pulls up, his father immediately is on his ass. Oh, look at you, you're drunk out there in California. I'm like, my nigga, he couldn't even, there's no hotels, and there's no pull up to the side of the road to stop when you don't know if your brother's going to live long enough. This had to be early 50s. And then you're a black person in North Florida looking to get medical attention. Yeah, damn right you don't think your brother's going to make it, so you drive and you don't stop. Then when you get there, you can be like, whew, and maybe sleep a little bit. Anywho, that's the environment. My Uncle William had this Defender, and I think he used to tell me, and I don't know if I ever counted, but I would look at it, I would obsess over it. He had stickers from every state. He drove that motherfucker to every state. How gangster and bold do you have to be? Like, it just hit me today, or last night, somewhere around there, that this man had to drive there himself to get these stickers. He told me I drove in this area, yeah. And he was telling me he slept in the car, and I was like, I get it now why you slept in the car, probably with the burner, but or is it the blower, whatever, burner, blower, heat, gun. weapon of not so possible mass destruction. I was fascinated. I didn't know. Well, eventually I grew up to fucking tour the United States as well. But being drawn to that, I really believe in the spirit and foreshadowing. And looking back, I'm like, I was obsessed with it. When I found out they sold it, I didn't know idea it was a Land Rover and it was worth money. I was just like a cool ass old car. I wanted to fix it and drive it. And then when I found out they sold it, I was crushed. But that was my love for Tucson started there. When I went back to Hotel Congress to do his show, I believe somebody posted this, but this is back when Mystic Journeyman would just bring me, God bless them, would just bring me to like shout them out and freestyle maybe. I didn't have an album. I didn't have a song. I just got back to from Europe with them and I was sleeping on their floor and they're like, they saw what I had sacrificed to live with them because I was houseless. I don't even call it couch surfing because I didn't know anyone with the couch. I stayed in the house with the Japanese exchange student on a mattress next to another Japanese student rapper from Osaka. I don't know where that mattress came from, but you couldn't open the door when we laid my mattress next to his mattress. That was it. We stayed in like, I guess kind of like the attic, like the slope ceiling front of the house, like over the front porch. We slept over the front porch on 2 mattresses. I ate rice. I learned how to eat chopsticks because I ate rice every day with legit Japanese exchange students. Like then I would be sleeping when everyone's getting along with their girlfriends, when Mystic Journeyman both live with their girlfriends. I'd sleep on their floor. They didn't have a couch in their front room. I slept on the floor in the front room, covered by a sari, like those thin sheets of, there was no blankets, there was no pillows. My hoodie, my backpack, everything I owned was just that. So when they got this show in Tucson, they fucking took pity on me, showed me love, whatever it was. But they told the promoter, like, we have to bring Murs. You got to get a ticket for Murs. Who is Murs to this guy in 1996? Like, but they stood their ground. They fought for me to get a ticket to go to Tucson. I've been going to Tucson before. I'm juiced to rap. We perform at Hotel Congress. And I don't know if they're having an MC battle or I just saw this dude that we're in Tucson and this dude is on stage speaking patois, trying to like be, and I was like, I just went up. I don't know if it was a battle. Like I said, I don't know if I just, these years of my life, I was feral. So I ended up on stage destroying him lyrically. I don't know if no one asked me to. I just felt compelled to take the mic from him and shame him in front of a room full of people, which is not cool. But like I said, I was a feral beast and them's the rules, right? You get up on that stage. It's not a safe space, Gen Z, or not in my day. We get to the promoter's house. Sorry, skip back. We get to the promoter's house and he's like, I'm mad. I'm hot. Like I am at some of these promoters here. Like when I pull up, I'm gonna have some energy that I gotta shake off. So this dude's like, you want to watch my skate video? This is how it ties back in. Everything's tying in. You want to watch my skate video? We made our own skate video. And what the fuck do you know? His part starts and I hear for everything there's a time.
I'm stealthy, I'm mentally taking you well. I happen to be an MC that cannot be defeated by anyone else. See, I'm at the top, I gotta get you off these people aspirin for the pain. Wait, your styles are lame. Leaves the rigor mortis, you're mortified by this name. Over the top of your head and my lyrics are pissing you off like a condom.
I said, motherfucker. He's like, yeah, that's just Group 3MG from LA. I was like, motherfucker, that's my song. What do you mean? I'm like, it's me, bro. The guy you didn't want to fly out, that my boys had to fight to give me a flight. Here you are using my music, gratis, free of charge, in your video. When I tell you God is the greatest, and he's like, oh shit. So now he's happy I'm there. And then I think he put my friend Hermie onto it, and this becomes one of my best friends in the world. So Hermie's like, that's you. And then we start being friends. And somewhere in between there, he lived in this apartment building. I believe it was near Grant Alvernor somewhere. And there was a pool. I was broke as shit until everything I owned fit in a backpack, a green JanSport backpack. That's it. Drawers, socks. I'm not shitting you guys. No, I'm sorry. I had an army bag. I don't know where that was at the time. That might have been stashed down here at the cleaners that my dad left me. I never knew my dad was in the army, but My aunt, when he died, gave me this huge, one of those rucksacks. So I had that, sorry. So that was my closet. The green backpack and the rucksack. But on this trip, I probably just had the green backpack. Anyway, I'm broke. I'm also in the Bay where I haven't found a plug to, like, I can't sell weed anymore. My hustle is dead for the brief moment. I eventually found this plug from Humboldt, but that's another story. But it kind of fits into whatever we're doing right now because 67 Cutlass is about selling weed. It's all happening, you guys. But anyway, Grouch is like, hey, Murph. I don't know who started calling me Murph, but it stuck. So Murph, hey, Murph, bet you won't jump on. And I think in the back of me and Grouch were such adversaries. He definitely wanted to see me hurt myself. I can almost guarantee you, because he'd be the one to dare me to do stupid shit. I bet you won't jump off this railing into the pool. I'll give you $50. $50 is a lot of French fries and Taco Bell burrito, 69-cent bean burritos, no cheese, no onions.
Come on, burrito, taco, not just supreme, 59, 79, 99 cents each. Well, runs over border, yes, understood. Gotta be Taco Bell, cause I know what's good. So good.
That's over 50 of them. That is a new skateboard deck. That is 25 comic books. That is 5 new albums. That is also 100 blank tapes that I can turn into $500. Yes, I'm jumping off the second story into this fucking pool. But I also have my cousins from Hawaii who taught me a little bit about cliff diving. From Maui. I did it. I lived. I got $50 from Grouch. Grouch is not rich, but Grouch delivers pizza and paints soccer fields on the weekend, which he also included me in. I don't hate Grouch. We just had an adversarial, stupid-ass big bro, little bro shit that I see my sons do now. You don't want them to, I don't know, man. You don't want them to die, but do you want them to get hurt? And then when they get hurt, you're mad and you're hurt too. So I love Grouch. I love Sunspot Jones and Lucky. The gratitude is eternal, man. That moment turned into me meeting, like I said, my best friend, who had just started a job, I believe, at Wells Fargo. And when I become a rapper in Austin, Texas, on the road, and one of the promoters from Newport Beach, or the club from Newport Beach, had a promoter that stole some checks from him. He enjoyed the show at the beginning of the end of the beginning tour, the My Way and the Highway tour is what I call it, 2003, my first headlining tour, on which I took Brother Ali that I spoke of earlier. We started the tour in Newport Beach. We performed. The promoter, the club owner, loves it, gives me hugs. We go to his office. I go to his office with the promoter. The promoter pulls out a checkbook. Boom. The promoter also stole checks from the owner that night. So he put stop payment on all the checks to stop the the promoter who stole the checks. I get to Austin, Texas. I walk into Wells Fargo. These motherfuckers make some signal and they lock to get everybody behind me. I'm not looking behind me. I'm just going to deposit a check. I've been, doing that since I was a kid down here at the cleaners for my mom. Like I know, even though they don't teach banking in schools anymore, they never taught our generation. I know it. Deposit slips, all that shit. The bag with the zipper, I've done all that shit. I've been in the bank with a lot more money. It wasn't mine. Anyway, but it's 2003. I've been making a little bit of rap money. I done cashed checks from Japan and got wires and shit. I'm familiar with how the fucking bank works. So I'm not looking around until I hear them lock, all those keys on the key ring here. And I turn around, I'm like, oh shit, what's going on? Is this a robbery? And by then too, I have a homie that's robbed a couple banks and is in jail in the feds. So I'm very familiar with all types of banking. And now I'm like, either we're getting robbed or they think I'm going to rob the place. And I had Twinkie pajama pants on. And probably the matching Homer Simpson dunks that were light blue and yellow. And a 1X white tee or extra large white tee that Sean Daly taught me how to put on the rider. Because we're just coming from another show. We've accumulated a lot of money. This is also when I talk about I lost $8,500 on tour. I never give myself credit. This is why I was in a position to lose $8,500 because I had stopped going to the bank because of this incident. So the checks have been stopped. They think I'm in Austin on the run with a stolen check. I say, call Hermilo Guzman, my banker in Tucson. Please. I've been with Wells Fargo this long. He's my personal. And by then, Hermie, who I met this day at this kid's house, the first show in Tucson back in 1996, 7 years later, he's pretty well off. And he's the squarest of my friends, has never drank and never smoked in his life. To this day, 50 years old. I'm like, Usually Hermie can clear checks. He's the one that's helped me clear these checks from Japan because I'm a black kid walking into banks with checks from Japan and guilders and marks. Like, he's another reason I'm very familiar with how the bank works. By then, we have been roommates for about a year when I lived in Tucson. He helped me bank and open up my business in Tucson when I owned a record store. Like, very fucking familiar with the bank. And I'm like, yo, I didn't steal this check. If they stop payment, he's like, come to the office. And now the police are there and they're following us into the bank manager's office. I'm like, they shrug Hermes call off. So like, call the promoter. I hear the promoter on speakerphone. I said, this is Murs. You like the show? Remember me? He's like, yo, your promoter stole checks from me. He's good. He didn't steal the check. Murs, I'm going to write you a new check. Come pick it up when you get off the road. I was like, okay, you guys heard that. I didn't steal the check. They hang up and the cop says, you're in possession of a stolen check. I have to take you to jail. Guys, this is where I get upset when motherfuckers talk about they paid dues and all this shit. I don't have a business manager at this point. My tour managers really did just drive and help me sell merch. This is my first headlining tour. I am coming from, we can just, as we leap through time, if Karis, like once again, Karis will say this is all happening at once. I'm a kid in 1996 whose mother said, don't come home, and walking around with a rucksack full of clothes and tapes from my dead father. Sometimes in this rucksack, ladies and gentlemen, there would be a whole ass dual cassette deck, because if I had to shift couches, I still had to. There's probably 100 tapes and covers along with a dual cassette deck to dub them. That's the most, fuck the underwear. Fuck the, I don't even know if I had a jacket at that time. I had a jacket that I got from, it was one of those thin, I believe it was a jacket I got in the Netherlands from an Army surplus store. So with the Dutch flag on it, I have this thin ass thing and a hoodie. I don't even think I had a jacket. One pair of corduroy Fat Farms, one button down Fat Farm that my mother had bought me 2-3 years earlier for back to school, my senior year at the Fat Farm store in Soho, 119 Prince Street, I think to be exact. The first, I know of first hip hop clothing shop in before Soho had a Bape store. Wait, this is 1994. I held to that. And a One Echo Unlimited shirt that I bought before the first Log Cabin show from Beat Nonstop from Rob One. These are the things I had these articles of clothing that I would keep in rotation. One pair of shoes. I don't even remember what shoes I had. I built all this from that. I am the CEO of this label. I am everything. So yes, I'm going to go deposit my $5,000. I think I got between $3,500, $5,000 for a show that I headlined on my tour to help cover the cost of the van that I have to pay for, the gas that I pay for, every one hotel per diem. I'm a fucking businessman. There are a van full of people outside that are depending on me to make it to the next show, to pay them and to get us fucking home. Fucking right, I'm gonna walk this check in and deposit it so I can continue to use probably one of my first debit credit check cards. I didn't even have a credit card. I didn't have credit. Now I'm going to jail for nothing that is my fault in Texas. Am I shook? Fuck no. I'm happy that the first time or second time I go to jail will be in Texas because there's no fucking gang politics. But going to LA County Jail, oh my God. I've always been like, when I'm out of state, it is what it is, bro. Until now, because now that shit's infested everywhere. But if I'm going to some place where it's just some regular racial shit or just a bunch of motherfuckers that want to do their time, if our only sadness is that it smells like shit in here and the water might make me sick, cool. I don't have to worry about getting shanked or in a fucking mass, like a real riot. I'm good, bro. If it's not overcrowded, like it's Austin, Texas. I'm like, cool, bro. I said, hey, can you just, I was so cool about it. They're like, we're not even going to handcuff you. I said, I'm not going to run from this shit. If I got to go sit down, I got to go sit down. I'm just, like living how I was living. I was like, it was a matter of time, And then this is not a real case too. So I'm not stressing it. The show's in Austin that night. Hopefully I get bailed out for the show. Ali has money. Lucky has money. Like, people, you come together, get your boy out. If I got to call my mom, at least now I know I'm not calling her for anything criminal. I said, can I just change out of the Twinkie pants? I'm not going to jail in Twinkie pajama pants. And when they saw that I was just so at ease, and they walked me to the van and I didn't try to run. And I think they saw the van with all the merchandise and that I had a whole ass white tour driver who eventually becomes a lawyer. They're like, you know what, man, just go. We'll take the check and all right. The story wholly checked out. You know, like there's an albino. They go to the car, the van, and there's like BK1. I'm sure Ali was standing in some aggressive stance, not letting me be. Maybe he can record his version of this story and send it in. I'm sure Ali was not having it, me going to jail. But there's BK1, there's Lucky, Brother Ali. Like, I think it's just like, okay, 2 white guys, an albino guy, and another black guy in a big white van with a bunch of T-shirts and in Tupperware boxes. Probably not into check fraud. Like, there was no fucking auto parts or brand new stereos or Nintendo 64s or PlayStation 2s that we bought with these fraudulent checks. It's just, and we're in Austin, the music capital of the world. I'm assuming that eased into my, and then my just like, okay, not happy, but I'm not even a little bit upset about going to jail in Austin, Texas. And I had heard stories about being in jail in Austin because one of our old tour managers did a little time in Austin. So I'm like, the big homie told me, like, let's go. That moment in 1996. And I'm sure Hermes called help too. Shout out to Wells Fargo. But that's just one of the many things that Herm has done. Or this song, my homeboy Roland, who I met Roland, so that night after I battled the dude, I had a dude come up to me and kiss me on the mouth. Like Latino, I just met a guy of mine. I didn't know who you're my. This guy. I love you, baby. Mwah. You come do my club down the street next time. Don't do Congress. You guys are so beautiful. You blah, blah, blah. Like, he watched me destroy. Like, what do you want? You want to come party? You want bitches? You want cocaine? Anything you want, buddy? Like one of those guys. I'm like, this is a fucking movie. I was like, I just met this kid, Hermie, him and his girlfriend and their other homies and their girlfriends. They all are telling me that there's this place that makes fresh bread in the morning and there's this cool place to go. They want to go to IHOP afterwards. I just got $50 from Grouch. I just want to go to IHOP, bro, with my new friends. I'm good. Oh, I don't know. I wasn't even supposed to be in the club. 1996, I'm barely 18. So I'm not even supposed to be inside this venue. I'm like, let me just get out of here. I don't know about bitches. I don't know. Like, I probably had sex with one person or maybe 2 people by then. 3? I'm like, no. IHOP. And I'm still friends with almost everyone that I went to IHOP with that night. And Roland was the one black dude that was down with their crew. There's a lot of black people in Tucson. There are more indigenous Americans than black people in Tucson. I think there are more Asian people than black people in Tucson. Black people were an extreme minority. But Roland came up on the South Side and, just growing up in LA, like Latino culture and Chicano culture especially influences you a lot. And me working at the cleaners, it was more so because the neighborhoods don't mix as much here in LA and I didn't grow up in Boyle Heights or anything. But working side by side with Latinas and Latinos at the cleaners and servicing Latinos in the shop, having to know vestido, planchar, lavar, all these things. Ahora, próximo semana, all these things, próximo dia, like all these things, and listening to La X every fucking day. I'm at work on Saturdays all day. That's the Mexican radio station, or was in LA. La X 97.9.
La X 380.
So it's very rare that I meet another black dude that's like with, that much Chicano influence. But he grew up on South Tucson. But with 2 black parents, God bless his father, rest in peace. So we start nerding out, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm calling Hermie and I become best friends. So I'm calling him long distance and collect from the outhouse in East Oakland and Tucson, just checking in on him. His mom was getting married. My mom was getting married both our moms were on our second marriage. We were inheriting step siblings. So we had a lot to talk about. We both love Disneyland and blah, blah, blah. And then he calls me and tells me like Rollins and the other homie are in jail. And I'm like, what? For what? I thought they went to Hawaii. They went to Hawaii to do something they shouldn't have been doing and ended up, I was like, who goes to jail in Hawaii, bro? What the fuck? So he comes back. He's on probation, parole, whatever. You know, he served some time in Hawaii, comes back and served some time in Tucson, I think, and then he's out. He's having a son. This is crazy, but we've stayed friends through all that, and he's persevered and done amazing. But he was such a cool, like he's a larger, like taller, a little more heavy than me, got the good hair, he could rap, he could do graffiti, he could dance. He knew how to talk to girls, like he could drink, he could skate better than me. He was just he is a fucking amazing, man. One of the most amazing humans I know. And part of the reason I moved back to Tucson years later and why it still has a special place in my heart. Yeah, Ro became my road dog, like for real. So when I moved back to Tucson, when I first got married, we were, you know, in touch. Funny thing enough, like none of my friends from back then were married, so we were on the same time. So I didn't see them as much as I thought I would, but I tried to make time to hang out. And one day he's like, I just bought a new house, pull up. And I was like, what is that car? And he's like, it's a 67 Cutlass. I was like, this shit is crazy. Like a big boat. It was just dope.
In a 67 Cutlass, we was riding through the desert with the... I got a story, y'all. From a bit ago, I was out in AZ, chilling with my nigga Ro, leaving Tucson. We was rolling out, on the way to LA to kick it. We was zoning out. Couple jokey jokes, had the music up, a little smoky smoke.
He got this car because he knew I would think it as cool as he thought it was cool. I don't know I forget the story behind the car. But right before I went to New York to record this record with Ski and Dame, we had been riding around in a 67 Cutlass, and it was the fucking coolest shit to me. I was driving a fucking Prius at the time. So you can imagine how cool this car was to me. It's the exact opposite of my Prius. Larger and way more hell on the environment. And when I heard the beat, I was just like, okay, here's a song. From a bit ago, I was out in AZ chilling with my nigga Ro, leaving Tucson. Tucson gets mentioned twice on this album. And once on Murs Rules the World. Things I won't get credit for. Shouting out Altadena before it was tragic, in a tragic light. Seeing the importance of Altadena, I'm just hoping that after this place rebuilds. There's so many dope parts of this country. We talked about this with Third World, because they're getting to see some of these parts of the country for the first time, man. Traveling America. I don't know what makes you want to put the flag on your car and say you love America. I love America because I love the great people I've met, and it is a beautiful country that was stolen from beautiful people. And it's coming from the Southwest now. Cannot emphasize that enough. And so many gifts. Shout out to all my people from the Dene tribe that they show out and they bring me stuff, and my homie from my Apache homie that brought me gifts and like beaded necklaces, jewelry. I was walking through the morning after my show. I'm still the same guy. Just in Flagstaff, I find the nearest vegan restaurant. It's a 30-minute walk to downtown Flagstaff. I'm like, fuck it. Literally, girl at the front desk was like, yeah, it's, you walk through campus, it's not that bad. And I was like, it's a good view. And I was like, cool, I'm just going to walk through campus to go to the vegan spot, get some shit. I'm walking helicopters. And I'm like, ooh, shit. But it's just that feeling. It's funny, like, a lot of people wouldn't have that feeling. I'm just a guy walking on a Sunday morning, but I'm also a black man walking through a predominantly white college campus on a Sunday morning, looking homeless or houseless, however you want to say it. So I'm like nervous. Somebody drives by, oh shit, Murs. I'm like, fuck. Comes back, drives by again, Murs. Then drives up, cuts me off, gets in the parking lot, hops out the car, gets out of his car and was like, yo, what's up, man? I missed the show last night, but I made you this dream catcher. Like to me, when I'm standing, especially like in Arizona, where you can feel it and see it, like I'm standing in wherever you go, it's indigenous lands, but when you feel it and someone of the land gives you a gift because your music, your art means something to them, like I could cry right now. Like it was like, yo, and like, had I not been walking to get vegan breakfast 30 minutes, I just got off stage at I just got to the hotel at 3 o'clock. And I was up at 6:30 walking. I was up at 6:30 and I'm back on the streets early morning walking. And he's doing DoorDash. And he made me this, but he wasn't able to afford or have time. I don't know which one it was to get to the show the night before. And he's like, yo, I made you this. Yeah, bro. I can. I'm so grateful for that. Sidetrack. I don't know what makes you love America as much as you do, but moments like that is why I love this land. This land is your land. It's my land from the valley. That song, like, and also like the amber waves of grain and all that shit, Purple Magic's Majesty, that's the shit, But when you realize that the motherfucker that wrote that and sang that stole all that shit, it's not yours. Or I guess if this land is your land, it's my land. No, this land is their land, not ours at all, except for maybe 3/16 of me, I think, according to my ancestors. But it's inspiring that the Southwest has changed my life. All right, and we're going to take a pause there. And that will be part 1 to this episode. Stay tuned. Next week, we'll get into part 2. Thanks for listening to the Best Rapper in LA podcast. Make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing on Spotify, Apple, wherever it is. If you like the show, leave a review on Apple Music or Spotify. And to support the podcast directly, go to patreon.com/MURS316, Murs316. See y'all next week. Peace.